Today's shiur is Leilu Nishmat Rachel Leah Bat Reb Chaim Zvi. In today's shiur in the series Money Matters, I want to discuss what causes a change of ownership with tangible property, with movable property. These are the things that we're buying and selling every day. As of course, as we've mentioned in previous shiurim, the conclusion of negotiations, the paying of money is not necessarily a change of ownership. So where is the change of ownership? The first, very simple to understand type of change of ownership is where there's going to be taking of possession. Taking of possession can take three different forms. The first form is when you take the object that you're buying in your hands. This type of a kinyan is called a kinyan agba. This works everywhere, doesn't matter where you are. When you take, once a sale has been agreed, and you take the object in your hands, there's a change of ownership, even if you haven't yet paid for the property, for the object. Some say that you need to lift it up 3 tfachim in order for there to be a kinyan hagba. Some say that 1 tefach is enough. But according to both these opinions, that's only where the object is on the ground. Where it's already in the air, where someone offers you something in the air and you take it, you don't need to lift it up. Just by taking it, as long as you're not sitting at a table, for example, where you might say that it's still on the table and it hasn't been acquired properly yet. As long as you're standing up, then just by taking it in your hand, that completes the transfer of ownership. Now, not only taking it in your hand and lifting it up, if it's on the ground again, is considered a change of ownership, but also doing any action which would cause the object that you want to buy to be lifted up, that also is considered an act of a kinyan, an act of acquisition. Therefore, for example, there's a case in the Gemara of someone who wants to buy the birds in a nest. By knocking on a table where the nest is, or wherever the nest is, and causing the birds to fly up, that would be considered that he's done a valid change of ownership, a valid transaction, a valid kinyan. Because he's done an action that's caused it to be lifted up. That lifting up of an object proves ownership. There's a case that I mentioned in Pure Money of someone who wanted to buy an elephant. An elephant's a pretty difficult object to make a kinyan on. To pull it, to lift it up. It's just not shayach, it's not possible. So he lifted carrots up in the air, and the elephant jumped up to get the carrots, causing the elephant to jump up. That is considered a change of ownership. If then afterwards the elephant has a heart attack because of the efforts of jumping up like that, even though the buyer hasn't yet paid, it's his loss, because the transfer of ownership has already taken place. A second way that you take possession is by dragging or drawing the object that you want to buy into your domain, into your reshut. This is called a kinyan mashicha. This is shayach. This is more applicable to larger objects that is not really shayach to lift up. That by dragging them, you show your ownership, and that would cause a change of ownership. Not just dragging them, but also drawing them into your domain would also be considered a change of ownership. And even more than that, just by having them put in your domain, in your chotzer, that's also considered as you've now taken ownership of the property. So let's think about someone who's going shopping, and they walk into the vegetable shop, and they've got their shopping bag, and they choose their vegetables and they put them into their bag. Now, strictly speaking, at that time when they're in their bag, in their shopping bag, even though they haven't yet paid for them, they become the property of the buyer. So if, while he's waiting to pay let's say in a market stall, is waiting to pay, the fruits were to get damaged, it could be that it's their loss and they would still have to pay. But this halacha is going to be very dependent on custom. Let's take the case of the supermarket. You walk into the supermarket and you have to take your trolley. Sometimes you have to pay to get a trolley. The trolley is yours, even if you haven't paid, you haven't rented the trolley. But certainly the owner of the shop is giving you the trolley for you to buy things with. So now, does that mean that everything you've put into your trolley and you're pushing it around in the supermarket now belongs to you and the payment is just a debt? We see that it's not like that. We see that in any supermarket, they're prepared to allow you to return anything to the shelf you like, anything to the shelf.